I'm Simon Nee. I've been at our studio since '96. I'm a technical director and latterly CEO. As a technical director, I look after everything technical in the building and the technical team here. As CEO, that makes everything my fault. I did a maths degree at Imperial, nothing that I'd use particularly on a day-to-day basis. But I bought bits of old equipment as a student and fixed it, and one thing to another led to sending CVs into studios because the technical engineer seemed like an interesting thing, and eventually somebody replied to one. Long story short, ended up at Air as a junior technician. There's a house sound here at Air, which is Dynaudio driven. It always has been. It's what was chosen from the very beginning of Air Lyndhurst. Dynaudio, I mean, there's a consistency of drivers and of ethos across the range from professional through to the home systems, and always has been. First and foremost, you need to be able to hear the slightest squeak or whatever and know that something's not been recorded right. But you've also got a job of making sure that whoever's in the room listening to the recording as it's being made, is their composition or it's their piece, that actually what's happening is the thing that they kind of wanted to happen and the thing that they envisaged. So you need a great sounding system so that the engineer who's really focused on making the music wonderful is confident that it's still going to be what they intended, and the composer is what they intended when it gets into a cinema. Because often coming to the studio, it's the culmination of many months, maybe longer, many years work for somebody. They've got 4 days in the studio to get it right. So it's got to sound great. The last thing an engineer wants to do is to spend all their time making a perfect mix in the studio, go and take it home and go, what's happened to the bottom end? That's not what I thought I was doing. They need that confidence in the room. They kind of need the ultimate in precision, but confidence, I think it is. Orchestrally, it's the big Hollywood scores. We're very fortunate in all the streamers, Netflix, Amazon and Disney Plus have all really strove for the ultimate in quality. They want to rival, indeed surpass, the quality of pure film productions, cinematic productions. So in terms of studios that can do what we do, there's us on Abbey Road for the large orchestral recordings. There are other spaces around town, but you would need to go in there and set everything up. And then ultimately it's about having the staff. It's about having the people, the personnel from the runner all the way up that actually does that as a thing day in, day out, because it is a high stress, complicated discipline to record an orchestra. Yeah, the team of people that can do that is what actually makes it happen. In a big room like this these days is for mixing the film score primarily. We've got the full Atmos speaker setup in this room. We can do Dolby Atmos music mixing, which is obviously then going into the Apple spatial audio world. The legacy projects like George Michael, who used this room a lot back in the day, as their guys have come back and they've been recalling in this room and doing the Atmos mix for his spatial audio stuff. But mostly it's to be a mini version of the theatre before we go to the dub stage, which is the next stage for the music. The specification for the speaker system comes down to working very closely with Dynaudio, working out what for the surround, for the Atmos upgrade, like what's the positions that we can put speakers in the room, what are the positions that are going to work in the room, to take that level of also pragmatic approach, which actually then has always ended up delivering a really great sounding room. Keeps my confidence that we're actually still doing the same thing and keeping it right. The original M4 system had used analog BSS crossovers. The concept was there was no need at all for any parametric EQ on the speakers. The idea was that you control the level of each of the 4 drivers. That's a great fundamental to start with, to say let's make a system that actually doesn't need EQ. In a good well-designed room, then we can actually adjust the level of each individual band, and there we've got a flat sounding system. And the same thing should apply with the Mark II, in that you go, okay, well, we're changing the drivers, but we've got the same ethos going on here. There was nothing fundamentally wrong with these 30-year-old systems. We upgraded the various rooms here and to the MC² range of amps, which is something that Dynaudio then will provide. And the engineers like them across the board because they said, oh no, the speakers now sound great again. What we've done is taken what we've got, and if there's nothing wrong with it, the ultimate aim is to, like, okay, people are just going, yeah, that's the same, but it's actually better. I mean, it's an excellent system, but ultimately it's about making sure that what you're recording is what you wanted to hear. They sound amazing. I was like, wow, that's what a big system sounds like. I was lucky enough to start working here when George Martin was still alive. This to me is still very much George Martin's studios.